kind of getting settled here and everyone's arriving. Um, as you're kind of setting up your camera and different things, we're going to start working on this in a couple weeks, but you can start to look at can, when you're standing, can you see your whole body? So if you're leading a class, always good to know in your room how you can set things up so you can take a moment to see, is where I'm practicing from, would this be a good location to do a practice where I could work with someone in my house, uh, in a space that you've created to be able to see self. So I've got a dowel on my mat. I've also got a ball. So I wanted to start with doing some standing work and a little bit of myofascia awareness coming in to connect and release. So just wanting you to find your awareness of Tadasana, so standing pose. We're going through a sequence today that could be a really nice flow, kind of post athletic kind of activity or in between athletic activity to keep the recovery, to promote recovery, and to find the well being of body and mind. Also helps to promote elasticity in the body and healing so that the body isn't getting injured. So, as we just take a moment, you might even lift up your toes and spread them. And a lot of you know the transverse arch, which is just below the toes. And there's an arc that goes from the big toe mound across the foot, all underneath the toes, and arcs around and ends at the pinky toe mound. So I want you to try to root that area of the foot into the floor. And just notice that when you look down, you can see that your inner arches are lifting. So just having the toes in the air, the transverse arch rooting into the floor, it's a really good way to strengthen the feet. And you can notice maybe on one foot, the transverse arch doesn't root as well as on the other side. So just taking a moment to feel that and then allow the toes, see if you can separate the toes, maybe fan them down. Notice if the toes want to come together, what's happening. And then just take a moment in your standing to see how you stand. Notice your ankles. Are they stacked over your heels? You have a nice lift to your inner arch. And then can you root all of your toes into the floor as if the toes are pushing buttons or sinking into the sand? Take a few deep breaths, breathing in the nose, out the mouth. Maybe doing a sigh as you do that breath or a pursed lip breath. It just gives time for arrival into our body. And come a little bit closer to camera. And when we're externally rotating, a lot of us know, I've been playing with this a lot in classes, that our radius bone, our radius and our ulnar, our radius radials around the ulnar. So we can keep the upper arm bone, the humerus, still and find the radius bone radiating out. But we can also take the humerus bone and do a little external rotation through the humerus bone as well. So you can feel the whole arm bone gently externally rotating. So you're feeling the arm as a whole. We're going to flow with this quality of working through whole body today. Notice how it feels to just externally rotate the lower arm, and then notice how it feels to include the humerus in the external rotation. Now feel your heels. Notice if you have a tendency to root a little bit more on the outer heel, maybe the outside or the back, or maybe you roll a little bit more pronating in on the inside of the heel. Try to balance that. I know one foot for me does something totally different than the other foot. Start to root into one foot. So if you have a side that has a little bit more sensation today, maybe something's happening in the hip or in the knee or the shoulder or the neck, then want you to foot roll that side. So you're going to start by just rooting down through the other side and try not to kind of shift the hips over too much. There's a little shift over onto the right foot, but it's leaning evenly through the whole right side of the body. And then we're rooting down. So we're using the root to rise. So as you root down through the whole foot, you wait. Maybe feel an SH breath, that transverse abdominis coming in. Sometimes I like to put my hands to feel that wrapping of the transverse. And notice that as we wrap through the transverse, there's a gathering in, but there's also an up. So as the foot pushes down, there's an in, and then there's an up of a lift, up through the inside of the cavity and up out the top of the head. So the leg will start to rise, and then you can do a little knee glides. So just allowing the leg to extend and come back. Feel the whole leg. You might even bounce a little bit, so feel that biotensegrity of the fascia. And then you're going to roll your foot either on a ball, whatever you have, can be. I prefer the spongy balls as they work a little bit better in communication with the fascia. But I know some of you like the spiky. You have a dowel, use the dowel. So just explore. All of you know foot rolling, so just want you to explore from heels to toe. Feel your breath roll on the outside, so the lateral arch, which is pinky to outer heel. That's going to nourish the muscles and the fascia through the lateral chain of the body. So a chain of muscles that all work together, running in the same muscle fiber pattern. Also, the inner medial arch, so from big toe to inner heel. Can press down on the ball or the dowel. You can do a little bit of pin and twist, which is just pressing and spinning. And take a moment to feel just a part on my foot where I'm just lingering for a moment. So anytime your body asks you to linger and just let it unwind, feel free. Take your time to feel the difference from the first foot that you roll to the second foot. You might even reach one arm up. Feel the difference of, oh, how does that side of the body slide and glide? So the skin, and underneath the skin, we have the superficial fascia, which is very loosely packed fascia. It allows for a lot of hydration, slide and glide. Hyaluronic acid is just flowing through. And then just take note how the fascia is flowing on the other side. The deep fascia is very densely packed. So it doesn't allow for a lot of blood supply, is longer to heal. So we can feel that skin to superficial fascia or subcutaneous fascia, right? Just under the skin, sub. And then the deep fascia, which is creating bundles of a group of muscles, individual muscles, creating our tendons and our ligaments. So just take a moment to feel the root to rise. So just wait and then do your knee glides. Sometimes I'll do knee glides on the floor when I'm working with athletes. Supine. Okay, so just roll through the foot as our fascia is our richest sensory organ. So the research has shared that the fascia has 250 million neural receptors. So more than the skin, more than the eyes. Just notice as you're moving and we're rolling, and every time we're moving around in the world, our fascia is sensing and feeling and experiencing, and it's shifting and it's morphing to how we load the body with weight or in postures or shapes. It's also experiencing the world, communicating with our nervous system. Yeah, so there's a lot happening. As us as teachers, as we get a little bit more aware, right now we're building proprioception, but also layering in our interoception, sensing inside the body, but also noticing our body orientating. So anytime we move a limb today, I want you to be really aware, hey, of really sensing the movement of the limb. That's going to increase proprioception. Yeah, so take your time to finish off your rolling. No rush if you're still finishing up. We're going to check in with that second side to see how the sliding glide is now flowing as we lift that arm up. And just go back a couple times and just see if you can notice the flesh and the superficial fascia, that subcutaneous fascia, sliding and gliding, and notice the difference of it. And then we're going to go over to the side and we're going to grab hold. So I'm just going to come down a little bit so you can see it. You're going to grab hold. Left hand can grab right wrist or right hand can grab left wrist, whatever you want. You're going to pull on that arm with the hand and the wrist, but then you're going to counter and you're going to draw down. So bringing in biotensegrity, whenever we have an action going in one direction, we want to counter with equal effort going in the other direction. And then you can take a moment to allow the body to come down and forward, maybe back a little bit. So just going into a little fascia flow here. Really important to work with the whole body as we start to age. We'll maintain our flexibility for longer. And some new fascia research that has come out. You might even find the hands interlacing behind the head, leaning hand and head into each other, reaching the elbows. We did this last night, but now incorporating it standing. Just notice when you do this, do does your rib cage come forward? Can you keep the pelvis and the rib cage communicating with one another? Remember, our lat muscles actually originates in the sacrum and it grows up through fascia all the way through our back and attaches onto our inner humerus bone. So our arms are connected to our sacrum. So if we lift our arm up and our pelvis anterior tilts, it could mean that we're quite held and stuck in the fascia and the muscles through the lats, through the sacrum, through the thoracolumbar fascia. Take a moment once you've felt the side bending just to root down through the feet. Inhale, draw the shoulders up, give them a squeeze, rotate back, exhale, release. Do this a couple times. Inhale, exhale, let go. Feel that your feet are pressing off of the floor to rise the body up. And then there's a release into the ground. Notice how your knees are tracking over the toes. Are they going over the first, second, and third toe? Are they rolling in at all? Are they rolling out? Okay, go the opposite direction. Go back. Feel the shoulder blades squeeze and up. Exhale. Good. The next time you come down into a squat, just take a moment in this chair pose to pause. Hands can be on the thighs, arms can come up. Feel the SH breath. Notice the awareness of the core. A little bounce here. Feel your whole body. Soften the shoulders, widen the collarbones, maybe an external rotation through the whole arm, especially the upper arm bone. Now we're going to take it into a forward fold. So just fold down. Feel that length coming in. Even the weight out on the feet. And let your head go. Remember, if we do anything and that practice or that shape is not supporting you, then you're going to alter it. You're going to watch because watching is learning. You might swing the arms from side to side. Notice how that changes the chain of muscles that come in. You might also bend the elbows and have right hand hold left elbow, left hand hold right. And then we're going to bend the knees, come back up into chair. Soften the shoulders. Feel a little bounce. So the up comes from rooting down. Good, and then press down, rise up, let the arms release, go into some swinging twists. Yeah. We're going to bring this in a little bit more dynamically. So we're going to let the arms swing. Feel the whole side of the body. So there are spiral lines, so it's our rib and our hip connecting. Really nice dynamic movement to get the fascia flowing. Really nice way to warm up the body. Good. We'll slow that down, coming back into the twist, maybe a little tap. Just going to be off camera for a moment. Okay, so we're going to go through a little flow of some Surya Namaskar. So sun salutes, you're going to find the top part of your mat. Just take a moment to anchor. Going to be nice and slow for this first one. Hands at heart. Inhale, exhale. If you want a little bit variation of a forward fold, just put your thumbs in your hip crease and tug the pelvis back as you reach forward through the top of your head. Just come into a flat back, anchor through your toes and your heels. Pulling back on the pelvis, just elongating the back. Feeling how the thoracolumbar fascia starts to unwind. Okay, going down into your forward fold as you release the hands. We're going to inhale up halfway, hands on the shins or on the thighs. Feel that length reaching back through the sit bones forward through the top of the head. Exhale, come back down with that length. Bend the knees, plant the hands onto the floor, big step back, right foot, left foot, pushing the mat away. Just find downward dog. Walk it out if you need to. Widen the shoulder blades, so find that protraction of pulling the shoulder blades apart. Good, we're gonna come and step the feet back a little bit if you need to lengthen out to find plank. Now, depending on where you are, you might drop down to your knees, lengthen a little bit forward as you exhale down, and flatten onto the floor. Okay, gonna release our arms beside us, palms up. I'm gonna do a root to rise to come up. So as you feel the back of the hands on the floor, the pelvis, rooting the pubic bone, the lower belly, the belly button, the thighs, the hip bones. Feel the torso lift and lengthen, gazes down, reaching out the top of your head, reaching back through your legs. And then slowly release. Now check in if you had any discomfort through your lower back, just internally rotate your thighs a little bit more. You'll feel a widening through the back of the sacrum, and then try rooting into the floor and just wait through pelvis, belly button, hip bones, maybe top of the thigh, and the torso will just lift and lengthen. And lower back down. Hands are going to come underneath the shoulders, taking a moment to gather the elbows, reaching the triceps and the elbows back. You're going to root through pelvis, and then into hands, come up into a low cobra. Pushing a little bit more, reaching the pelvis back, coming back into child's pose. You can curl the fingers into the palm of the hand just to walk the hand back a little bit if you need to before inhaling into the hands, exhaling into downward dog. We're going to root right hand, left foot into the floor. That right leg is going to come up towards body. We're going to shift shoulders over the hand, and then you're just going to step your right foot forward. So wherever you land, just stay there. Okay, step your left foot out, maybe a little bit forward, so you're going to feel a warrior one stance. And then start to root into your feet. Bring your arms onto your lower back. Crossing down, inhale up into Virabhadrasana 1. You can interlace your hands behind you and just hold the fingers, hold the wrist. Feel that opening through chest. And we're now going to turn to our left. So left foot is going to heel toe back 1 or 1.5 feet. And then you might walk your right foot in a little bit. I like to line my right heel up with the inner arch of my back foot. So you might take that time. Hips are level. My front knee is bent. Whoa. Check in. What are your arms doing? Does it feel better? Palms down, forward, up. If you do turn the palms up, make sure you include the humerus bone externally rotating. Let's go into exalted. So as you inhale, left arm down, right arm up. Take a breath here. Check in with your right knee. Is it rolling forward? Can you lean that right thigh and outer knee back? Press into your toes. We're going to come back up into warrior two. Inhale, exhale, reach forward. Bring the forearm down to the thigh. So we're not collapsing onto the thigh. So there's a leaning down, there's a lifting, and we're opening right side of chest, heart, left side of chest. Left arm can stay on the thigh. We can reach it up. Beautiful. If you choose, it might come all the way over, but check in with your shoulder. Feel this whole lateral chain of awareness. Tip of the toes on the left foot, all the way through the side body. Beautiful. We're going to roll down towards our right leg, face, hands come onto the floor. Step right foot back into downward dog. We'll just take a moment to walk it out. We're going to root into left hand, right foot. As that left leg comes up, the right heel might lift. We're going to shift the shoulders over the hand, step left foot forward. Good. Now just angle out your feet Maybe the right foot steps forward a little bit. Maybe it walks out. Okay, so your hip bones are facing towards the floor. Left knee is bent. Going to bring your arms onto your lower back again. So you're pressing the floor away to rise up. Nice open chest. Feeling a nice psoas release here on the right leg. Make sure your hips are facing forward. Lifting through pubic bone. Gathering through rib cage. Transverse abdominis. There's a rooting down, but there's a back and an up. Good. Now start to turn to your right. Angle your right toes back and then the heels. You take a step back and then check. Do you want to walk your left heel in a little bit to line up with your right inner arch? Arms come up. Check what your arms are doing. Have them reach forward and back. Right hand goes down, left arm reaches up into exalted. Take a few breaths here. Good, we're going to come down, back into where to, then reach forward and down into extended side angle. Remember, this is too much on the shoulder. Bring the hand down. You can come up, you can come over. We're going to pivot down with our right arm, right hand down to the floor. Step left foot back down dog. Walk it out. Come into a plank. If you want, you can keep the knees high. You can lower them. Shift a little bit forward. Squeeze the elbows in, lower down. Come into cobra. Pressing the floor away. Rolling up and back. We're going to go into child's pose here. And we're going to just go into the wave for a moment. So some of you know this, some of you don't. So you're going to round up through the back. Come to plank. Check your hand placement right underneath the shoulders. Adjust if you need to. Then you're going to go back, lifting up. When you come forward again through plank into upward dog, reaching back through pelvis, slight flexion of spine. Inhale, exhale, maybe SH breath through plank. Upward dog cobra. Some of you might press the top of the feet into the floor and levitate the legs. Your choice here. Just going through one more time. Take a moment to pause in child's pose. Feel your breath. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees. You're going to feel the hands stacking under shoulders. Now, this is too much for the wrist. Remember, we can come down onto forearms. Okay, so we're going to do bird dog. So you're going to be pressing left hand, right shin and foot into the floor as you extend right arm forward. Now, we're not arching the back. So you're keeping a flat back, drawing in. If you lift arm and leg of that right arm, left leg, the right thumb is pointing up, the left leg is not higher than the buttocks. You're in a straight line here. And then you're going to bring it in, right elbow to left knee, exhale. Inhale, exhale, extend. Let's do that one more time. Right elbow, left knee, and extend. Beautiful. One last time. And extend. Come down. Take a moment here. Can you feel your flat back? Now it is right hand, left shin, foot. Slowly rooting down as you exhale. So remember, you can keep the hands on the floor, the toes. If you lift, thumb points up on the left hand, right heel reaching back. Okay, you're going to inhale, exhale, left elbow to right knee. Inhale, exhale, extend. Two more times. Good, come back. Take a moment, feel your hands, set them up. We're going to come into downward dog. Now we're going to just lift our right leg, step the right foot forward, step the left forward, slide the hands back, forward fold. Allow the back of the hands, if they choose with the knees bent, just to come down onto the floor. You'll feel the wrists come down, just a little wrist release. And you're going to reach the arms back, press down through the feet, come up. Beautiful. Exhale to heart. Take a moment to feel your body. We're going to go into reverse triangle and just feel this axial rotation on the spine, the release for the pelvis. So you're going to have your feet at the top of your mat, short end. Right foot's going to take the weight, left foot's going to lift, a little bit of a balance as we step back, 2 to 3 feet. Remember, your feet should be in a parallel base and you should be facing straight ahead. There you go. Okay. Now you're going to feel a nice straight leg. Reach the arms up. Come into a cactus arm for a moment. Okay, bring your right hand to your right hip. Come forward, extend your left arm forward as you exhale and gently twist towards your right leg. Left hand can very softly touch the thigh or the shin. If you need, as you keep pressing into the feet, if you want to, you're more than welcome to reach the right arm up. Also keep it on the lower back. Strong rooting in this one. Good, you're going to press down as you come up. Stepping your back foot forward. Good, shake it up. Good, I'm just going to switch sides. You just stay as you are. Okay, so we're turning towards left leg now. So we're going to inhale, exhale, root down, right leg up, step back with that left leg. Okay, angle the hips forward. Inhale, bring the arms up. Just come back into a cactus arm for a moment. Inhale, exhale, left hand to the back as the right hand comes down to the leg and we're turning towards the right leg. So belly, heart, chest, very soft hand. That left big toe has to stay quite rooted here. Some of you may find, oh, I want to reach that left arm up. You decide. Paravita Trikonasana. Coming back. Okay, step the back foot forward, shake it out. And we're going to do reverse half moon as well. Really good for the lateral line. So your choice here, if you do want to use a block, and if you want to use a wall. So I'm just adjusting my mat for a moment. Your block can be about a half a foot or so away. Feet are about 3 to 4 feet. Can be a little bit closer. I'm about 2 feet right now. You're facing the wall. Okay, now you're going to turn your right foot forward or whatever foot is closest to that block. So your toes are facing the block. I have my right foot. So the block is about a foot to a foot and a half away. And then you're going to turn your body so your left shoulder is closest to the wall. And then you're going to come down. So you have your left hip at the wall. So you press down. Some of you might use the block. Okay, with left hand, rotate the left side of the chest, the right side of the chest, open up. press back through that left heel. Okay, this is a straight line. Really nice release all through the tensor fasciae latae, the glutes, the iliotibial band. When you're ready, that left foot comes to meet the right. The hands come down. You can take a moment to pause on the block. Root down to rise. Very shake it out. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So left foot is going to be the balancing foot. So we're turning to face the wall. The block is closest to our left foot. Our feet are about half a foot width distance or maybe 3/4 away from the wall. Turning left foot to face the block. Inhale, exhale. We're going to turn towards the wall. So the right shoulder's really close to the wall. We're going to exhale, fold down, right hand on the block. Left hand can be on the hip as you shift forward into the left foot. Right hip can be at the wall, supported as you move back through the right leg, twisting. Right side of the chest opens, heart, left side of the chest, left arm up if you choose. Beautiful, looks really good. Coming into your forward fold when you're ready. Rooting down to rise. Beautiful. Take a moment to shake it out. So, a lot of you have done the classic figure four ball rolling on the ground, but sometimes when working with different athletes or students, there's maybe a lot of sensitivity. So, what I want you to do is you're going to grab your ball. So, I've got a pink ball right now and have whichever ball you want. But I want to do a little bit of release. So you're going to use the wall, a little bit of a variation. Okay, so we're going to put the ball on our hips and we're going to roll around on our glutes. Okay, so first off, you're just putting the ball either right hip or left hip. You're just leaning gently into it, feeling the wall, feeling the ball. Take a moment to exhale. Just create that relationship. Now remember, the fascia is our richest sensory organ, so we're going to be backing off. We're not forcing a release. We're meeting our body, and then we're slowly rolling. So you might be in a horizontal roll where the ball is rolling across from the back to the outer hip. Okay, this is going into what we would call a cross fibering. Really good to disrupt the myofascial patterns of the body. Helps to create a really nice release. And we can also go up and down, which is called a combing. That's going with the grain of the muscles, depending on what is happening, where and which muscle we're using. So allow the fascia to let you in. So the pressure only increases when you start to feel the fascia unwind and you receive it. Okay, I really like to go all through the outer. So you're getting into the iliac crest and just below the tensor fasciae latae, and then below that, all through the iliotibial band. So iliotibial band, you can do a combing. It also really responds well, especially when something's tight and it's a very long muscle. It responds well to a cross fiber. So the fascia kind of goes in a little bit more of a linear up and down awareness here. So you can go across from the back of the thigh to the side and then the front. So a little bit different than ball rolling, which is a lot of the time what is given on the floor, or sometimes for athletes, it's foam rolling. And foam rolling, the iliotibial band is quite painful. So to start off a little bit softer, then the fascia can receive it and start to unwind. So just use your breath. If you find that you have a sensation point that's quite full of sensation, then maybe you're just moving around that and you're releasing around that really strong sensational point to encourage it to soften. Okay, so we're just unwinding, rehydrating the fascia so the muscles can slowly re-lengthen to both sides. And then if you feel maybe your hips are feeling okay and you want to go into top of ilium, there is our QL muscle, the quadrator laborum, which attaches to the top of the ilium, to the lower rib cage. And then behind that, or in front of, depending on how you want to look at it, is our psoas. So you can then roll the ball up and down from lower rib to top of the ilium. And you can also go across, roll the ball across the top of the ilium. When you hit the spine, you want to pause. Okay, the pressure is rolling right along the ridge where it attaches. It's quite a beautiful release. If you want to go up in between shoulder blades, feel free. Some of you may find when you're working the thoracolumbar fascia, the QL, getting into the psoas, all of those attachment areas, that one side might hold a little bit more than the other, especially if you have a functional scoliosis or a structural scoliosis, depending on what's happening. I just wanted to bring in a few different tools than we normally do. There's an alternate practice that I shared with you on Moodle for the athletic sequence, so you can also go back and explore an alternate practice. Yeah, so we're just going to feel another couple minutes here. I'm just going to adjust the camera for this next one that we're going to do after the ball rolling. Okay, so we're going to be using either a wall or a chair. So depending if you have, I'm going to be using, so just finishing up your ball rolling. You've got some tools now, you can go back to that. Okay, if you have a knee that is feeling quite sensitive, you can also grab, which I'm just going to grab to show you, a folded blanket or a chip foam block. Now, if this is not resonating with you to be on the top of the knee when we go into this one, you can also do dancer pose. You can also lie down on the floor. Okay, and I'll show those. So if you're using something for the knee, you can have it on the floor. I'm going to use the chip foam block because I really like that. And you might just watch for a moment. This pose is called King Arthur. So I'm going to have my right knee onto the block. Now, the farther you are away from the wall, I see my head's not in the photo, so I'm just going to try to bring that in. There we go. So the farther your knee is away from the wall, the less of a stretch you're going to have. So take a moment to just kind of check in with that. I'm going to go about 2 feet away with my right knee on the block. So here is your foot touching the wall. So I'm going a little bit closer. So you can put the pad of your foot onto the wall or come down onto the block, which is the way I like to go into it a little bit more, and lean forward and then put the pad of the foot at the wall. So I've got my pad of the foot on the wall, and I'll bring my camera a little bit closer so you can see it. My head's going to be cut off, but just so you can see the technicality of it. So left foot is forward, right leg is on the knee, right foot is at the wall. Okay, so you can have the toes tucked under. You can put the top of the feet. So that depends what feels good for you, but you are going up into this position. Now you want to walk this left foot forward, square the hips forward. This is a stretch for your psoas and your quad on the right side. Okay, hands can be on the leg. You can lean back a little bit. You can also reach the arms up. I'll demonstrate this a little bit better in the next leg. Okay, then you can come down. Okay, lean forward. Okay, release. Press that foot into the floor. And then you're going to switch sides. So you can always hold it longer. So you're in a lunge. That left knee is coming down. Your foot, either the pad of the foot is at the wall. I do like the top of my foot at the wall. Okay, pressing down into the floor, lifting up. Good. So you're going to feel this release all through this one side. If you want, you can always lean over. So I'm releasing left leg, left psoas. You can reach left arm up and lean over to the right. And you can come down. Okay, remove the block. Nice. And then we're just going to come down to the floor just to feel the alternate. So I'm just adjusting myself. So we're going to be on our side. So let's lie on left side. You can have something to support the head if you choose. You can also have the left arm there to support. I'm going to do a little bit of both. You want to check your head, torso, hips are all in one line. So very frequently when we're working with people that are very athletic in their body, they sometimes have knee injuries or knee sensitivity. So we can go into this one with the side body here. So you're going to use right leg. You're going to grab hold of the top of the foot. Now, you're going to use this left leg to press it a little into the floor. So pinky side of the foot, fourth toe, third toe. You're going to grab hold of the foot. Now, lean the hand and the foot into each other. If you need to, you can use a strap. Now, the leg will want to sometimes flip up, but you're going to find a parallel base and the leg is going to move back slightly. Okay, so very nice, beautiful stretch, very similar, a little bit softer. You take your time to breathe here. You release it when you're ready. If any strain in the knee, just root back through the heel more. So you might hold your ankle, more than the foot. I'll turn around for this other side. So we're lying on the right side, just so you can see the back of the body. You take a moment to line yourself up. You're going to bend that right foot, rooting into the floor. So you can grab hold of the ankle and see how I'm reaching through my heel. And as I reach through my heel, it's going to open the knee joint. So if you sometimes grab the top of the foot and you feel any knee pain, hey, you can always go to the ankle and start to reach through the heel, and you'll start to lengthen through the back chain of muscles through the body. Remember, there's a gathering as the legs are parallel, and then there's a back. So as the foot, ankle, foot lean into each other. When you're ready, you're going to release, shake it out, roll onto your back. Take a little moment and draw the legs into the chest. If you're feeling that the body would like to do a few leg stretches, you have your tear band, you have your strap with you. And you're going to start with the left side, so you can put it around the top of the foot, reaching and lengthening up. So there's an awareness here as we're reaching up that we're gently tugging down, but we're also pressing the foot up into the strap. Okay, hips are level, shoulder blades are heavy, right hip and left hip stay heavy as the right foot is attentive, gently pushing the floor away. Inhale, exhale, lower down. And lift back up. So you choose. Is it better for you to lower on the exhale and lift up on the inhale, or lower on the inhale and lift up on the exhale? You choose. Okay, we're going to go across the body. So sometimes when we go across the body, it's really nice to support the hip. So you might find taking a block or a ball or a bolster and putting it right beside the right hip. So the closer you bring it to the right hip, the more support you have as you roll over to the right. I'll show it a little bit more clear on the other side. The farther away you put the support closer to the middle thigh or the knee, the little bit less support. And some of you might not need it. So hands, right hand takes the strap. Now you're going to choose, what is body wanting to do? Is the left arm out to the side? Is it on the hip? Is there reaching across? This left hip is lengthening down. Sometimes even taking the hand to feel that length reaching through. As you reach through that foot, you can feel opposition. So if you reach out through that left leg and then gently pull the thigh bone, so the ball of the thigh bone starts to come a little bit more in communication with the hip socket, you'll feel your hands become freer, and you'll use more of your whole body, that biotensegrity, connecting your muscles as a whole being here. Remember, you can always go up and out. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to bring that leg back up. Okay, we're going to do a little baby pose. Okay, so you're going to bend the knees, sneak the foot into the strap or the TheraBand. So quite bent knee here. And just have the legs on the outer, sorry, the thighs releasing out onto the outer side of the body. You have the TheraBand. It's really nice to kind of play. You can spread the TheraBand apart, just do some outer hip awareness. And then once you find that spreading, you can start to roll. Your lower back should stay on the floor in this one. If some of you are feeling, oh, my body's ready to go a little bit deeper, you're more than welcome to grab hold of ankles, to grab hold of toes. Okay, as you pull down, though, so we're using that concept of biotensegrity, you're going to be pushing up into the hands. So it's not just a pull down, it's a rooting up of the feet into the hands. And that will allow your lower back to stay way more connected. If you're just pulling with your hands, a lot of the time your pelvis and your lower back is coming off the floor. But if you have that down and that up with the feet into the hands, you'll feel the lower back and start to get into the lower part of the thoracolumbar fascia and the sacrum. Hey, you are going to take a moment to release. And you're just going to feel, how do you feel on one side compared to the other? Just for a moment, because it's quite fun just to notice that. So we release left side. I just want you to feel your legs can be straight, they can be bent. And now we're going to re-lengthen out the other side. So right foot. Feel if your elbows, triceps can come to the floor. Going to totally depend if you have a shorter TheraBand, if that's going to happen. Wide through the collarbone. Hey, hips are level, anchored, shoulder blades. Left foot is attentive, pushing the floor away. And then you're lowering down and back up, checking in with your breath. And feel that another 4 to 5 more times. And then the next time when you're ready, the leg comes up, you're going to take your support. So I just got a chip foam block. But remember, you can always use something thicker, like 4-inch block. Hey, a bolster. Sometimes inflated slow ball is really nice. So you can tuck it in really close to the hip. And as you come over, you can see how I'm not coming very far. I've got a little bit more support, or you can allow the block to come out so it's supporting maybe inner, so a little bit less. If you have the 4-inch block, mine's over on the other side. One of the ones that I really like is to put it on top of the left thigh. And then when the right leg comes down, you're supported here. And remember, you're rooting out, but you're also drawing back through that right femur towards the ball of socket. And then the hands start to become really light. They're starting to use the whole body. The more the hands are grippy, the more that you're relying on arms and neck to support you in upper body. And feeling the lower body, left foot rooting. Feel this cohesiveness, your body working as a system. You're using less effort. It's that effortless effort of 70%. Beautiful. You're gonna stay there for as long as you want. Come up, go back into baby pose one more time. Okay, you can use the TheraBand, you can use the strap, you can just use your hand. Feel that rocking. So remember, if you're pulling down, you're rooting up. So it's the equalizing, pushing and pulling. And this helps us from not overstretching or overworking because we're using the body as a whole system. Biomechanics is working as a cohesive wholeness of a structure. You take the time. When you release, just check in. Is there any other movements you need? How do you want to end your practice? Do you want to take a moment and go close to the wall? Maybe put your legs up the wall. Maybe you have a chair and you want to go into legs on a chair. You might want to use a bolster behind the back of the thighs, the knees. You can also do legs in the air. So you can put a block or a bolster underneath the pelvis and draw the legs up and then extend them. Really nice way to do a modified halasana or plow if that's yours to do. Take a few breaths out the mouth. Check in with the feet. Maybe there's pointing and flexing, some ankle circles. You might even feel that coming into the wrist, shaking them out, doing some ankle circles, or sorry, wrist circles, opening, closing the hand. Just take your time to be here. This is your ending to your practice. And notice your breath. So you now meet yourself on the floor from when we first arrived here. Remember, if you've taken a shape and it's not nourishing for the whole time, maybe here for another 4 minutes or so, you can always adjust. And as you're allowing for this full circle of the practice to come in, your body feels the floor supporting you and releasing on the exhale. Feel how the breath is gently expanding the body through belly, through ribs, maybe laterally and back, widening through the upper chest. And as you exhale, you feel the belly soften, the ribs gather, and the chest release. That integration of a three-dimensional breath. Notice the cohesive quality of the body, the breath, and how the body and the breath influence the focus of the mind. And when we have these three layers of the koshas, the annamaya, the pranamaya, and the manomaya integrated and open and receptive to each other, we then can allow ourselves to receive the wisdom and the insight through the Vijnanamaya kosha, that wisdom body. Feeling our innermost layer, we feel our connection to our spirit and our soul. Remembering this integrated wholeness, we're working your body, your mind, your breath. It's a system. The whole body is working together in unison. Just start to let the body wiggle a little bit. Might be fingers, toes, arms, legs. You might have a few breaths. Some yawns, some deeper movements. Hey, if you choose, feel free to stay there for longer. We did have the block or the bolster under the pelvis. When you come out, you might want to take a few axial rotations of a wiper in your legs. And rolling over onto the side for a moment. Just sitting here. Whatever your top arm hand is, just rooting it into the foot. Just come up and just take a moment to sit however you want. Okay, arms out to the side, feeling your body here and seated. Take an exhale out your mouth, rooting the pelvis into the floor as you inhale, gathering up what you need for this day. Maybe the gaze flows up. And as the palms touch, you exhale and receive, drawing a line in front of the body, all the way back down to the pelvis. And you do that a couple more times at your rhythm. Inhale, gather up, and exhale, receive. And the third time, feel the pelvis rooting down and like gathering up. We're just going to pause that heart. Take a moment to feel the pressing of your right hand and left hand into each other. And we're just going to end with a little slide and glide through hands and shoulder blades, just because we did a lot of work on hands. So you're just going to let the forearm and the wrist come down a little bit. So you feel a nice kind of angle. You're going to push the right hand into the left, and the arms are going to move to the left. You're not twisting your body. Left hand presses into the right. The arms are sliding to the right. And right hand presses into left as you rock to the left. Left hand presses into right as you rock to the right. So just doing that a couple times. Whatever hand is pressing, the other hand is passive, it's receiving. And just notice that communication up through your arms, your shoulder blades, and then let it settle. Thank you for exploring the practice, creating space in yourself to listen and honor whatever happening for you today.